The libraries are extremely, extremely important in our community. I'll tell you, the Park City Library, Summit County, they are always being utilized. I am definitely a patron on a constant basis, but we are so fortunate this morning to have the author and illustrator of a new children's book in studio with us, and I'm going to just take this. Mato, oh, can you see that? There's kind of a glare on it. All right, doggone it. There's kind of a glare, but it's called Mato Finds True North, and Jayanne Sindt and Jim Hanks are with us this morning. Thank you so much for waking up and coming in. It's like we didn't ask you to be here at like 6 p.m., right? We asked you to come at this ungodly hour, but thanks so much for coming. The book is absolutely gorgeously illustrated, first of all, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And, you know, it's written, it's just cute, isn't it? And you hear so much about polar bears. And I think they are just the little cuddly creature that everyone wants to hold and cuddle, I guess, not so much, huh?
No, this book's a little more realistic. A little more realistic.
Yeah.
He does get his dinner in the book, which is a seal.
Yes.
Jim illustrated it really well, so it shows that, yeah, bears are, polar bears especially, are carnivores.
Right.
And no, they don't play with seals, and they certainly don't play with penguins.
And you know, and I think we have this misconception, because if you think about, I just remember, gosh, and I'm probably going to date myself here, but there was a soda commercial years ago with the polar bear drinking the soda and sharing the soda, and probably no one remembers that but me.
I do. I remember it.
I think it was a Coca-Cola commercial. Yeah. And you thought about that and you thought, oh, how sweet, how wonderful. Yeah. Is that the primary purpose for writing the book, to let people know realistically what goes on with this particular creature?
Well, yeah. I think what probably inspires me, first off, is to clear up the misconception that polar bears and penguins coexist. And that are cute, cuddly creatures. Polar bear is actually a magnificent creature, an incredible creature, and typically a solitary animal. And the polar bears live in the Arctic at the North Pole. Penguins are at the South Pole. They're on opposite ends of the planet.
They sure are. And you know what? A lot of people don't know that. There's a great display going on right now at the Living Planet Aquarium. And I don't think people realize that the penguins are not from the North Pole.
Right.
They're from the southern portion, the southern hemisphere. Let's get there.
Although I have to say, whenever there's an exhibit and penguins are near polar bears, I don't mind that at all, because it's a climate-controlled exhibit, at least. And polar bears aren't sitting out in rocks in our desert climate here. So I like the climate control for the bears.
How did you come up with the name?
Mato is actually the Lakota word for bear.
Okay.
And through Native American sweat lodge ceremony, I asked my name, and I was given the name North Bear. And it's actually Waziata Mato for North Bear. And the spelling, we took the H, so that it wouldn't look like Mato. We took the H out.
Okay, very good, very good. And Jim, your illustrations, where did the inspiration come? Because they're really gorgeous. Did they really?
Here's what
Jayanne, completely
happened.
From Jayanne, huh?
We belong to a networking group, and it's more of a, what would you call it, woo-woo?
Yeah.
Sort of a spiritual group. We're not your typical entrepreneurs. So we meet, and we really click, and we really get along because we have a lot in common. She's a poet, I'm a poet, but I'm also an artist. So at one point, she asked me if I drew, if I drew pictures, and could I draw a polar bear. Yeah. So I sketched one out, and I scanned it, and I sent it to her, the pencil sketch, and she says, "That's it. You're the one."
That's Mato, huh?
That's Mato.
So
it was the cover.
We kind of like inspired each other, and so I started doing the color renditions and sent them to her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" And so we just rolled down the road, and this sort of came out. The thing that impressed me was the depth of the message of the book.
Right.
And the fact that it rhymes as well, and it's a true interpretation of the polar bear. But the underlying theme is to follow your heart. And that's what got me.
And that's what my next question was going to be. So were the illustrations, were they based on what she wrote, or were you inspired by what you saw him draw? How did they come to fruition?
The bear on the cover is one of the first sketches that Jim sent to me.
Okay.
And from there, I was just showing him the notebook outside. From there, I literally wrote the book.
Did you really?
In a notebook.
Okay.
While sitting and getting my hair done at V Nouveau Salon. I wrote the whole story just sitting in the chair there, and then because I was so excited, and I thought, okay, well, how about I put this into a picture book format? I took those words, and maybe Jim will draw me some more bears, and that's exactly what started to happen.
So you kind of wrote it first, and then you read what was written, and then you started doing your illustrations based on that. And the illustrations are wonderful. And I'll tell you, it reminds me, and I wish we could get a better shot of the cover without quite a bit of a glare.
There's the cover bear right there.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just reminds me so very much, I think there's just a little bit too much white, unfortunately. So, but, you know, I love how it has such a Native American theme. I mean, it's very strong. The illustrations even remind me of Native American writings, you know, and art. It just... Did you know you were going there when you did this? I mean, did you know it was going to take on such a strong sense of the culture that, of course, Jayanne loves?
The story is what really got me, but the fact that I know Jayanne, and if you'll notice, she's wearing...
Oh, I did. The first thing I noticed on her neck.
The polar bear necklace. So she's a very deep individual, and she's actually doing a novel about this journey as well as the book, the storybook.
Okay.
But the thing that really got me was the actual story, and you kind of you know, Mato comes to life basically.
Yes.
And you kind of get a little personality about this bear, and it's kind of amazing that it comes together that way.
How is the book doing, and how do people find out more about purchasing the book?
Jim built a beautiful website, which is the title of the book, matofindstruenorth.info.
Okay.
The book, we also have a smaller soft cover that's available on Amazon.com.
Okay, all right. And I saw the smaller soft, but I love this one.
Yeah.
I love the hardbook, and I think most parents...
This is a limited edition, the hardcover.
It is. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so can you only get it off the website?
Yes, at matofindstruenorth.info. That's where the hardcover's available. And we'll also be at the Summit County Libraries. You mentioned libraries earlier, and I was glad.
My favorite one.
It's the Kimball Junction branch, and we'll be doing a reading there this Wednesday at 2:30.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's a special reading. It's not age specific. Everyone is welcome. I know we're calling this a children's book, but it's a picture book for everybody. This is about what I'm trying to do, which is follow my heart and follow my true north, and that's to continue writing and to tell this story about this bear. That this bear wants his story told.
Wow. So, and I think you accomplish all of those things. I think there is so much there, and it's one of those books where you're going to end up seeing this, I feel personally, in high schools. You'll see it in junior highs. You'll see it in elementary schools because of the underlying tones and the things that it really is trying to teach someone who's willing to read it, you know. And like I said, I love the cultural background of it. I think that is so important for our kids in this day and time, and what a great way to learn it in an easy way.